Alright guys, so some of you out there may be wondering how you can use journals to count for your engagement in your course. So I just wanted to take a very quick moment to go over that and how to get it in your course and how it can count. So first of all, journals has taken kind of a twist in Blackboard. If you want to add it right away and you go to ToolLink and you look down here in your list, journals, wikis, and blogs by default are not going to be here. So if you look blogs and journals, not here. So we have to do a little pre-work to really get them to appear. So first thing you got to do, you got to scroll down to like your control panel area and go to Tool Availability. It's housed underneath Customization, then Tool Availability, and you get your giant list of all the different tools you have. And what you want to find is whatever tool you're looking to use, whether it be blogs or wikis or journals. And you have to fill in the little checkbox right there at the beginning to make those appear. So I'm particularly looking for journals right now. So I'm going to scroll down to the J's and slide over and just put a checkbox. And when I do that, now when I come back up here to my Add Tool Link, now I'm going to be able to look down and find journals. So like I said, it's an update they recently did. Unfortunately, it took those away from being default turned on. All right, so first step, if you want to use journals, you have to have it available. And if you don't want it in the toolbar for students, don't check it. Maybe you're going to put a shortcut in there for them into the course where they need that link. But for the most part, I would just put it right here in your table of contents menu and make your life and their life easier. So if you're looking to use journals, let's just right up front add it right here so it's very easy to access and get to. So if I click on it, you can see I've made a test one before. And if we just create journal, what you're creating is an individual private journal for students to keep up with week to week and or monthly if that's when you want them to enter stuff. And if we scroll down here, you'll see the journal settings. When are you expecting them to put in entries, monthly or weekly? And that's how they're going to be like indexed in inside the journal and kept up with. So all the different settings you have. But as I said before, the default is that this is an individual's journal. In engagement, we need student-to-student interaction, and we need that instructor interaction. So we need kind of a group effort going on here. So a journal by default will not count for engagement if you just make it right here, right now. So we kind of got to put a pause on this, and we need to go put our students into groups first. Very simple and easy to do. So we're going to hop over back to our control panel over here, and we're going to go to users and groups, and we're going to create some groups before we continue on with the journals. So as you can tell, I've done it for some wikis before. Same exact process. So if you watch the videos on how to create groups for wikis, you're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to create, and we're going to create a group set, because chances are if you're making these groups, you have more than 5 students in your class. You need more than just a single group. You need 4 groups of 5 or 5 groups of 5 or whatever the case may be. So you're going to make a group set, as I said, your 5 groups of 5, and you have your choice. Self-enroll, the students get to sign themselves up for it. Random enroll, my personal recommendation, or manual enroll. You, the instructor, are going to go in and assign the students into the different groups. If you know your students, fantastic option. If you don't know your students, then a better option is going to be for you to either do that self-enroll where they choose their groups or the random enroll. We're going to go with random enroll because it's by far the easiest. Let the computer decide who is in what group. All right. Don't put a number at the end of this. So this is our journal groups. And if you're going to do multiple journals for different topics, you would want to include the name here. But for the most part, you're going to have one journal that continues on throughout a course. So we're just going to call it journal groups. But like I said, if you're going to have multiple journals going on throughout the course, then include the topic name here as well. Don't put a number. The computer is automatically going to put numbers for you. Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, and so on. Yes, we want the group visible to students. Any directions you want to give the students to the overall group, you can put them here, but it's not the directions for the journal. That comes later. And then what are they going to do in this group? Well, this group is specifically designed for a journal. So So I'm going to uncheck all of these other things. Now maybe you want your groups to be very fancy and they're going to do a journal one week and they're going to do a wiki another week and they're going to do a discussion board another week. If you're that fancy, then you check all the things they're going to be doing. But as I said, this video and this example is strictly about journals. And this journal is going to be a grade. Now it's a semester long grade, so be sure in your grade center you weight it properly. But my grade is 100 points, and then I'll accordingly weight it in the grade book so that it counts the proper percentage it should. And then when do you need to know that they've done something? When do you need an update? Well, you can set this however much you need to, but I like to get an update after every one entry. All right, when I'm happy with that, then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit submit. For your knowledge, do not check the Create Smart View. This is going to create a lot of additional options underneath here. You can see I have done it a couple times for different demos, but that's what it does. When you hit that Create Smart View, it gives you additional ones for every single group that you make. So that's something I do not recommend unless you really want to have those additional tabs underneath there. Now you do need to come all the way down here and choose this. Do you want a set number of students per group, or do you want a set number of groups? Remember, the computers automatically randomly put in students in each group. My class typically has 30 students in it. I want to divide them up in 6 groups. That's what I want. Or you could say, no, I know that I want 5 students in each group. And then how do you want the remainders spread out? Do you want to create a group of their own, or do you want to put them, divide them up into groups, or what do you want to do? Distribute the remaining members amongst the groups. That sounds pretty good to me, so that's what I'm going to go with. When I hit submit, here are the 6 groups that I requested already made. And because this is a playground, I don't have a lot of students in this course, but it took the students that I did have and it just randomly put them in group 1 and group 2. So if you did this in an active course, a live course, it would automatically drop your students randomly in those groups that you created. All right, so now that this is made, we can hop back over here to our journals tab that we started with. And what you're going to see is they're also here, but there are no directions. We haven't told them what their journal is for yet or what they're doing with it. We've made the groups, we've connected it to journals and the fact that they're making a journal, but they don't know what to write about or what to do or what's going on. So at this point in time, click your little drop down arrow, edit, and give them instructions for this particular journal. If you need to set display dates or you need to do any other edits to the journal directions themselves, by all means go ahead and do that here. And when you're happy with what you've done to the journal, hit submit. Please copy whatever you write here, because as soon as you finish with this one, you're going to come into the next one and you're going to paste it here. And you're going to do it for all of your different groups. Now, fortunately, you only got to do this once because this carries on throughout the whole semester. I'm going to go to student preview mode now, and I'm going to be able to look at this from the student perspective and show you, let's see, journals. And, well, we probably don't want these all public, and we need to flip that switch over, but let's see. If a student wandered into one, let's see, I know nobody's assigned to group 5. They can view what's going on because it's public, but they don't have that edit ability. They don't have that create group or the ability to edit one that's here. If we go back to journals, and I'm either in 1 or 2, you can see I have the ability to create one because my student preview user is assigned to this group. So I can create and edit this one. Well, let's get out and go back to the instructor mode, and let's fix that. So if you don't want all of those to appear, then what we'll have to do, and you may want them to be able to look at each other's and gain from it. We'll just come right down here to permit members to view journal, and we will turn that off. And what that's going to do for each of these, and I'll only do it for a couple to show you, is it will still allow those who are in the group to see it, but it will not allow those who are not inside the group to view it. So when a student does access that page, they will only see the group that they are a part of. So that's sufficient. 5 and 6 are still going to show. But now in student preview mode, when I come here, you see group 1 is there because that's the one I'm a part of. Even though it's private, I can see it because I'm a part of the group. And then 5 and 6, I didn't switch over. So they're still showing. When I go to 5, I can only view but not edit. And when I go to 1, I of course still have the option to create, and I'll be able to edit once there's something to edit because I'm a member of that group. So that's kind of the way things work. Hopefully this is helpful and something you may want to consider doing. And again, it is engagement because you have that student-to-student interaction in a group setting. And you would also want to have an instructor coming in and add in content periodically. So the way that that instructor would do it is the same way an instructor would for a discussion board or anything else. You can come right here to this journal, or you can go to the journal down at the bottom, whether it's a private group or a public group. You can come in and you will be able to create a journal entry or add comments right inside of it. Don't do it as feedback, because feedback will not count as engagement. That's not going to be a part of the conversation, even though every student in the group can see it. You, as the instructor, will want to create your own journal entry, and that would be the engagement component because it's a part of it. All right. Again, I hope this is helpful. Please reach out if you have any questions and let me know how I can help. Thanks.